Tonight, watching with worry.
There's certainly a great impact in Winnipeg as well as around the world.
I mean, it's just devastating and scary.
Winnipeg's Iranian and Jewish communities react to escalating violence in the Middle East. Also tonight, sparking warnings.
You've taken the entire toolbox that could handle any call, removed it, and given us, a screwdriver.
Why a union is putting the heat on Winnipeg's fire paramedic service for reallocating fire trucks. Plus, a cheeky campaign.
Should I be worried about this rash?
Why Doctors Manitoba says it's time to erase sick notes.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Fear and uncertainty grows among Iranian Canadians tonight as missiles and drones continue to fly between Iran and Israel. Since the latest conflict in the Middle East began Friday, its impacts are being felt by many right here at home. Standing by with the details in studio is CTV's Danton Unger. So Danton, what are you hearing from the Iranian community here in Winnipeg?
Well, Marilee, some are hesitant to speak publicly about what's been going on for fear of repercussions from the Iranian regime should they ever return to the country. Now, I did speak with one Iranian Canadian who says she has family trapped in Iran and has lost contact with them amid the strikes. As Israel began its strikes against Iran Friday, halfway around the world, Donya Naguibzadeh and her family started getting urgent messages.
My mom's best friend had messaged her. She said, I just woke up with bombs being dropped in my neighborhood.
Her family runs the Tehran Market and Cafe in Winnipeg, and while she was born here in Canada, Naguibzadeh says most of her family remains in Iran.
My grandma's there right now. She went back home to visit her family, and now she's stuck there, and it's very scary.
Since Israel's initial strikes Friday, which it says targeted Iranian military and nuclear complexes, the two countries have been exchanging missile and drone attacks, with death tolls on both sides continuing to climb. More than 200 killed in Iran and 24 reported dead in Israel. Back in Winnipeg, Jeff Lieberman with the Jewish Federation says his community is monitoring the situation and has canceled trips planned to Israel.
The Jewish community of Winnipeg prays for Israel and all of its citizens, and we hope for an end to the violence and that Israel can live in peace, just like every other country should be able to live in peace as well.
For many in Winnipeg's growing Iranian community, Naguibzadeh says the conflict has left them with fear and uncertainty.
We're scared for our families, and there's not much we can do.
For now, she's lost communication with her family in Iran as internet has been cut out.
I'm scared for what's going to happen to my family. I'm scared for basically what's going to happen to my country.
Donya says the last time she visited Iran was back in 2019, and she's been dreaming of returning ever since, but now she worries that may not happen.
All right, thanks for this, Danton. More Manitoba evacuees are returning home tonight, but the wildfire service is reminding them, while the immediate risk has decreased, the fires and potential danger are still active. Beset lifted its mandatory evacuation at 8 this morning, and around 80 people from there have started to head home. Tomorrow morning, the south part of Nopaming Provincial Park will reopen to permanent residents, cottagers, and businesses. However, the Nopaming fire remains out of control and has already burned 218,000 hectares. Talabi Falls and Bird Lake campgrounds will remain closed until at least the 26th. 20 wildfires remain active in the province. The city is adding fire trucks to the downtown area to deal with an increase in blazes. This as fires continue to flare up in vacant buildings. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, the union representing firefighters says the move is a net loss of one vehicle, and it will take away service from other neighborhoods.
Winnipeg's firefighter union says a recent move to shuffle emergency vehicles between stations will undermine public safety.
Administration is trying to do more with less.
The Winnipeg Fire Paramedics Service made changes earlier this month, all in an effort, it says, to better respond to the volume of fires in the city's core, including blazes in vacant buildings.
Significant fire issues in the center of the city over some periods of time have been escalating.
Included in the moves, a medical vehicle is being cut at the Redwood and McGregor station, along with 2 more at the downtown station. The WFPS says those vehicles are not equipped to fight fires, and now more fire engines will be deployed downtown.
Engines with waters and pump capability and 4-person crews in order to address suppression needs.
A ladder truck is also replacing a fire engine at the Fort Richmond station, but the United Firefighters of Winnipeg is raising concerns about the shifting vehicles. UFFW President Nick Casper says the medical vehicle at Redwood and McGregor is always running.
So those are 2-person apparatus that respond to a very high volume of medical calls, 5,000-6,000 calls a year.
Casper says in total they are losing a vehicle in the shuffle from 47 to 46. He worries this will drive up already lengthy response times.
That means the residents in those communities will be waiting longer. It means that we were already missing our target response time of 4 minutes.
But the WFPS says staffing levels won't change, and the mayor says he trusts the fire paramedic chief's strategy and vision.
That is data-driven, based on analysis, to allocate resources in a manner that makes sure we've got the adequate level of fire suppression.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A Manitoba First Nation is suing the province, federal government, and Manitoba Hydro. Barons River First Nation alleges the Lake Winnipeg Regulation Project has caused environmental and cultural harm.
Genpeg's powerhouse and spillway are the linchpin of Hydro's Lake Winnipeg regulation works.
According to Manitoba Hydro, the Lake Winnipeg Regulation Project, which went into operation in 1976, regulates the flow out of Lake Winnipeg to help reduce shoreline flooding around the lake. It also optimizes power generation along the Nelson River. However, in its lawsuit, Barons River First Nation alleges the operation of the project has had a devastating impact on treaty rights and reserve land.
Our people can no longer fish where their ancestors fished. Our medicines no longer grow where grandmothers once harvested. This is not only a legal matter, it is moral and a spiritual one. The land is our life. The water is our spirit.
It's asking the court to award compensation, including the cost of remediating reserve land and the damage to structures, docks, and homes. It's also asking for an injunction preventing Hydro from operating the Lake Winnipeg Regulation Project. CTV News reached out to Manitoba Hydro, as well as the provincial and federal governments. They all declined to comment, saying the matter is before the courts. A 67-year-old man walking on the Trans-Canada has been killed after being hit by a pickup truck. It happened early this morning in Headingley. RCMP say a westbound pickup truck hit the man who was walking on Highway 1 near McGuckin Road, close to Thunder Rapids Amusement Park. Emergency responders pronounced the man, who has no fixed address, dead at the scene. The driver of the truck wasn't hurt. Collision analysts continue to investigate. The province is warning about more potential measles exposures across southern Manitoba. Included is the Steinbach Church of God between 9:45 a.m. to 2 p.m. on June 1st. The Manitou Motor Inn Bar on June 9th between 3 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. VB's Entertainment Center in Winkler that same day from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. and the Triangle Oasis Restaurant in Winkler on June 11th from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. If you were at any of those locations, you're encouraged to check your immunization records and monitor for symptoms for about 3 weeks. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency is investigating a case of bovine tuberculosis discovered in the Pembina Valley region. The CFIA says it was found last week in a 7-year-old cow that was slaughtered. The herd has since been placed in quarantine and will be tested. The agency says animals that test positive will be destroyed and the owner compensated. The CFIA says human cases of bovine TB are extremely rare, but can happen by handling fluids from an infected animal or consuming raw milk. Canada has been working in earnest to eradicate the disease since the early 1920s. And although Canada is considered free of bovine TB, isolated cases still pop up. Cranberry Portage RCMP have destroyed a device resembling a pipe bomb found on the school grounds of Frontier Collegiate Institute. RCMP were called about the suspicious device found in a school dorm room yesterday around 9:30 in the morning. RCMP tells CTV News the device was found within a box in a dorm. Staff found the device as they were preparing for the return of students who had been evacuated from the community due to wildfire danger. RCMP Explosives Disposal Unit determined the device contained no explosive powders or anything which could have made it dangerous. It was safely destroyed. The investigation is still ongoing and no criminal charges have been laid. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady now and get a first look at your Skywatch evening forecast. Speaking of evacuees, I know the evacuees from Flin Flon very happy today because they saw some rain. Not for too long, but a bit of rain.
We'll take what we can get, of course, except if it has lightning strikes and thunderstorms in it, which is still a possibility for that region tonight. But yeah, for a couple of hours mid-afternoon, it looks like some light rain showers move through the area. Not a lot, but again, we'll take it. Now, a bit of a role reversal. 24 hours ago, we had non-severe thunderstorms moving through the south. Calmer conditions for the most part today, although looks like the southeast corner getting clipped with a few non-severe thunderstorms. But the action really tonight is in northwestern Ontario, where Environment Canada has special air quality in effect tonight for those areas. Back on the Manitoba side of the border, no air quality alerts in effect. Up in that wildfire area like Flin Flon, we did have that rain come through, drier now, but there will be thunderstorms likely in the province tomorrow. Coming up, I will show you where. Let's take a look right now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg right now, 24 degrees, mostly sunny with the humidex. It feels like 26. Winds out of the north-northwest at 31 kilometers an hour. The pressure's falling, and the humidity right now, merrily, is 44%.
Thanks, Colleen. Racism may be a factor pushing up ER wait times for minority groups in Manitoba. That's the preliminary findings 2 years after Manitoba hospitals began collecting voluntary race and ethnicity data from patients. According to officials, North American, Indigenous, Black, and people of African descent are waiting the longest to be seen. This, in spite of the fact Indigenous patients typically present with the same triage level as white patients. Shared Health has tasked a steering committee to come up with ways to eliminate racism within the healthcare system, and culturally safe and anti-racism training will be rolled out to staff in public-facing roles. The mayor is stepping down from the Winnipeg Police Board. Earlier today, Scott Gillingham announced he would be leaving his seat on the board. Gillingham says after hiring a new police chief and launching the Safe Winnipeg initiative, the time was right to step away.
To continue to support the police board, call for public safety changes, work with provincial and federal governments. I think there's a bit more latitude I have to do the work of championing public safety as the mayor in this role as mayor.
A new councillor will be appointed as the city council representative. Gillingham also nominated a new citizen member to the board to fill a vacancy. Council will need to approve businessman Amit Kapoor's nomination at its next meeting. A third-party audit is recommending the city tighten up oversight of councillors' ward allowances. The ward allowance is funding given to councillors to help pay for things like office equipment, furnishings, or administrative services. Last year, the ward allowance was around $164,000. Councillors are allowed to carry over 10% of the unused money, but auditing firm KPMG recommends the city update its policy to ensure those carryover funds are used properly. The city said it accepts and will implement the audit's findings. A major closure on Kenaston Boulevard continues tonight. In just about an hour, all northbound lanes will be closed between Lawson Crescent and Rothwell Road. Crews are repairing the street around the rail crossing near IKEA. You're asked to use the detour at McGillivray Boulevard to Waverly Street. Kenaston is scheduled to reopen tomorrow morning at 6. The community came out today to celebrate a major milestone for an inner-city resource center.
The whole neighborhood was here, it seemed.
The second annual Gilbert Park Smudge Walk this year helped mark the 20th anniversary of the Gilbert Park Resource Center, which provides programming and services for people in the area. The event started at the center with a ceremony honoring Indigenous culture and traditional medicines before making its way through the neighborhood to a nearby school.
I've never seen such a large number of people participating And it shows support, not just for traditional ways, but shows support as a community. We are all part of the community, no matter who we are, where we come from, what we believe in, we're all together. So that's what matters to me.
The smudge ceremony is used to cleanse oneself and create a safe space for peace and connection. Coming up, Israel and Iran continue to exchange missile attacks for a 5th straight day.
It's terrifying, and I was only probably 700 meters away.
After the break, we hear from some Canadians on the ground in the conflict zone. Plus, family secrets on full display. We have the results of that investigation into the 23andMe data breach. Taking a look at the markets tonight, crude oil added $3. The Canadian dollar dropped 0.2 cents. Gold dropped $10. The TSX lost 27 points. The Dow Jones fell 299 points, while the Nasdaq was down 180 points. The search for Winnipeg's new chief administrative officer is nearing its end. The mayor's executive policy committee today confirmed the nomination of Joseph Dunford for the role. Dunford is currently the Deputy Minister of Public Service Delivery for the province and has held senior leadership roles in 3 provinces. The mayor says that experience will help Dunford with his biggest priority, securing funding for Phase 3 of the North End treatment plant. The role has been empty since last July when Michael Jack resigned. City Council will vote on the nomination June 26th. If approved, Dunford will officially start on August 4th. Despite President Trump's early departure, the G7 Leaders Summit continued in the Canadian Rockies today with a focus on defense and security, especially in Ukraine. Here's CTV's Michael Couture with the latest developments from Kananaskis, Alberta.
With a heavy heart, Ukraine's president came to Kananaskis hoping for more support from G7 leaders. But the latest attack cast a shadow over his visit.
Our families had a very difficult night. It's one of the biggest attacks from the very beginning of this war. 440 Shaheeds, Iranian drones, and 32 missiles.
Inviting Volodymyr Zelensky was part of a show of support from world leaders gathered here as the war with Russia rages on. And Canada has gone one step further, announcing today military aid and sanctions.
We are providing additional military assistance, drones, helicopters, broader munitions, over $2 billion worth of assistance directly to Ukraine.
And there's a $2.3 billion loan to help Ukraine rebuild its infrastructure. Canada is also slapping sanctions on 40 Russian entities, a number of individuals, and over 200 vessels in its shadow fleet. The United Kingdom also announced similar sanctions on 20 ships, including oil tankers. But the immediate need in Ukraine is that military might.
It's important for our soldiers to be strong at the battlefield, to stay strong out until Russia will be ready for the peace negotiations.
The Prime Minister's office confirms the $2 billion in military aid is helping Canada to reach its NATO spending target. And that earned Carney praise from the head of the alliance.
The fact that you decided to bring Canada to the 2% spending when it comes to NATO this year is really fantastic.
More difficult conversations could come for Carney when he meets with his Indian counterpart later today. Canada is trying to rebuild that relationship, while an RCMP investigation has connected the Modi government to homicides and extortions in this country. It's a claim the Indian government has refuted. Michael Couture, CTV News, Kananaskis, Alberta.
The man stepping aside so Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre can run for his seat has officially resigned. Alberta Conservative Damien Kurek has vacated his seat in the Battle River Crowfoot riding. Poilievre failed to win his Ottawa area seat in the election. Prime Minister Mark Carney has said he will call a by-election in the riding as soon as possible. No sign of de-escalation. Israel and Iran exchanged strikes again today. Iran lobbing another wave of missiles at Tel Aviv and the north. Israel hitting deeper into Iran. CTV's Adrian Gobriel now on the Canadians caught in the middle of the Middle East crisis.
This missile launch from an unknown location inside Iran claims to show an Islamic Revolutionary Guard warhead slicing through the sky towards Israel. At an Israeli air base, an F-15 Eagle fighter jet takes off, strapped with munitions destined for targets in Iran. This young child in a bicycle helmet is among those surveying this gaping crater in central Israel north of Tel Aviv from an airstrike Tuesday morning. Canadian-Israeli Raphael Posh is a paramedic who's worked in multiple conflict zones. The father of two from Toronto says Iran's counterattack feels far more threatening than what he and his family have grown accustomed to in recent years.
If one of those missiles hit, it takes down a city block, as opposed to if one of the missiles from Hamas would hit, it takes out an apartment, a room, a hole in a building, depending on the size of the rocket. So there's definitely a lot more of a worry, and there's a lot more of a feeling of urgency.
Hamilton, Ontario doctor Panad Baranju took this video following an Israeli airstrike on a building down the street from his family's apartment in Tehran.
It's terrifying, and I was only probably 700 meters away from the blast site.
Baranju is one of the fortunate few to have been allowed to cross into Turkey at a land border. Forced to leave his extended family behind, he took this video of his last moments in Iran as the flash of rockets could still be seen in the sky.
And then I had to sort of leave and say goodbye to them in Tehran, which was very emotional. Especially my mom, because she hugged me and said, "This is the last time I see you." It's possible, but as sad as it is for me to say.
As of today, at least 224 people have been killed in Iran, 24 in Israel, since the fighting began 5 days ago. On his own social media site, President Donald Trump posting that the U.S. knows exactly where Iran's supreme leader is located, calling him an easy target, though vowing not to kill him, saying, quote, "At least not yet." Adrian Gobrel, CTV News, Toronto.
Russia carried out a massive missile and drone attack in Kyiv overnight, killing at least 15 people. Ukraine says Russia launched at least 440 drones and 32 missiles. The overnight attack was one of the largest on Kyiv since the start of the Russian war. Russia says it is targeting Ukraine's military-industrial complexes. The results of a joint investigation by Canada and the UK into a massive data breach at 23andMe were released today.
The breach serves as a cautionary tale for all organizations about the importance of data protection in an era of growing cyber threats. It is particularly relevant at a time when more and more personal information is being collected, used, and shared in a growing digital economy.
The breach, discovered 2 years ago at the genetic testing company, affected almost 7 million people worldwide, including nearly 320,000 in Canada. The compromised data included information related to health, race, ethnicity, as well as relatives, date of birth, and gender. The investigation blames inadequate security measures. 23andMe sells testing kits which use a customer's saliva to uncover genetic information through DNA analysis. It filed for bankruptcy in March. The mother of a 3-year-old missing girl in Montreal is charged tonight with child abandonment.
We put many resources to find the girl as soon as possible. This is hard because we have a large area.
Police say Claire Bell was last seen Sunday morning near her home and was reported missing by her mother hours later in a city west of Montreal. Police have found a dead Chihuahua which matches the description of the child's dog. They also located the mother's car, a gray Ford Escape with a baby on board sign. A historic landmark which sat on the shore of Vancouver Island for more than a century has been scorched in a fire. Check this out. This charred skeleton is what remains of a 128-year-old shipwreck after a fire on the beach earlier this month. The photographer behind the video says it looks more corpse-like now than it did before. The artifact suffered significant damage from the fire, but is still intact. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Some people who had their eyes to the skies this morning were treated to a meteor sighting.
A lot of meteorites contain iron. It's not a definitive test by any means, but if you see a little black rock sitting all by its lonesome and you bring a magnet up close to it and it gets attracted to the magnet, it could very well be a meteorite.
This fireball lit up the sky above Edmonton just after 2 a.m. Monday morning. An expert with the TELUS World of Science says when meteors get that bright, it usually fragments, which means there could be meteorites scattered somewhere waiting to be found. A warning tonight about contractors who offer good deals on driveway work. You may be pitched with a door-to-door offer, but you might end up getting run over.
The long-range forecast for Winnipeg starts Thursday. A mix of sun and cloud. There's one model that wants to show a low chance of showers, so we'll call it a slight chance at this point. 23 degrees, then we shoot up to 27 on Friday. Mix of sun and cloud. Sunnier Saturday, 26. Soggy Sunday, likely anyway, a high of 24 degrees. Then a little cooler by comparison Monday. Cloudy with a high of 20.
Tonight on CTV National News, W5 investigates.
It's crippled me. I've lost everything I've ever worked for.
A car dealership allegedly infiltrated by fraudsters.
We delivered a car to a guy that was not alive.
How is that possible?
Great question.
A dealer's search for who did it. W5 investigates tonight on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
Doctors Manitoba is repeating its call to end the practice of requiring a sick note from a physician to verify short-term illness.
I twisted my ankle doing goat yoga.
Should I be worried about this rash?
We don't send medical problems to HR.
How can I help you today?
Well, I'm only here because I need a sick note for HR.
So why do we send HR issues to the doctor?
The organization launched this campaign today called Sick of Sick Notes. The group's president says doctors get about 600,000 requests for sick notes every year and says eliminating the need for sick notes will reduce administration for physicians, freeing them up to handle more patients.
Many visits to get a sick note are actually medically unnecessary, with no symptoms to verify and no new medical care required. Those visits cost taxpayers about $8 million per year.
Dr. Nichelle Desilliers says eliminating sick notes will free up 300,000 appointments annually, the equivalent of 50 more doctors. The campaign calls on employers to eliminate sick note requirements for short-term absences and is providing human resource tools to better manage employee absenteeism. It is do or die for the Edmonton Oilers tonight as the team faces elimination from the Stanley Cup final. Game 6 is just a few hours away, and the Oilers are switching things up in goal. Stuart Skinner is now confirmed as tonight's starter. The Oilers took to the ice in Fort Lauderdale for one more practice before tonight's game. The Panthers are coming off a dominant performance in Game 5, and a victory tonight will give them their second straight Stanley Cup. But the Oilers have become defined by their ability to battle back, including a remarkable rally in Game 4 when they beat the Panthers after being down by 3 goals.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
All right, Colleen Brady back now with your complete Skywatch forecast and more on the threat of thunderstorms over parts of the province.
Really an interesting setup this week. Really some role reversals happening all throughout the week with respect to areas that are dry and areas that are not so dry. We had non-severe thunderstorms that moved through southern Manitoba courtesy of a cold front yesterday afternoon and last night. We're getting a little bit of thunderstorm activity popping up just in the southeast corner of the province, but the more active weather this evening over the border into northwestern Ontario, although even since the top of the newscast you can see that is moving further off to the east, but still in northwestern Ontario. Environment Canada has a special air quality statement in effect, of course, related to the wildfire smoke for several communities there. On our side of the border here in Manitoba, although there may be localized smoke in many places, Environment Canada has not issued any air quality alerts for tonight. Up where those wildfires are burning again, thankfully, we did get a little bit of light rain shower activity over Flin Flon. Drier tonight there, but there is still the threat of thunderstorms, at least the risk of thunderstorms in that area for the next couple of hours before the risk starts to diminish. But we do have scattered showers across the north tonight, again with the possibility of thunderstorms, at least for the next few hours. Meanwhile, down here in the south, not nearly as active weather-wise. Overnight actually will be quite clear. Still, as we get into the overnight hours, the chance starts to diminish of any kind of precipitation in the north. That pretty much out of the way. That's moved off further to the east. We get into tomorrow morning. Again, things start to stabilize for now, but as we move ahead a few hours, first in the southwest, there's a possibility of showers or thunderstorms. Then as we get further into the afternoon, that threat of showers or thunderstorms spreads back across the south and into northwestern Ontario, more so as we get into the latter part of the afternoon and into tomorrow evening. Meanwhile, tomorrow in the north, more stable conditions. Overnight, though, this is where we could see some rain, particularly focused more over southeastern parts of the province, and that moves off into northwestern Ontario by the time we get to Thursday, where more calmer conditions return once again to Manitoba. So for tonight, a fairly calm night. The sky clears this evening. We drop down to 14. Winds out of the northwest at 20 until about mid-evening tonight. Then they're actually considerably lighter. For the commute tomorrow, west winds 15 kilometers an hour, mostly sunny with a high of 17. Then we get into the afternoon, and there is a good chance, it's not a sure shot, but a good chance of showers or thunderstorms here in Winnipeg. Winds pick up too with that threat of showers moving in out of the northwest. The UV index for tomorrow is 7 or high. Quick swing around the province tonight. Partly cloudy in Churchill. Showers or thunderstorms early this evening in the Gillam area. They will end for you tonight. There's a good chance you'll see them in Island Lake as well. Thompson down to 6. Mix of sun and cloud there tomorrow. In the northwest tonight, look for showers before morning around OCN and the Paw. Tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud for most areas. In the southwest tonight, partly cloudy. Most areas, Brandon and Dauphin included, down to 12. We could see showers and thunderstorms there tomorrow. And a few clouds tonight over the southeast, with again the showers and thunderstorms expected if they show up tomorrow afternoon. Northwestern Ontario, partly cloudy for the most part, and then ditto, you'll get the showers and thunderstorms likely tomorrow afternoon as well. To our weather photos we go. Now look at this cute group. This is out here in Winnipeg, out at Kildonan Park. That photo is from Debbie, very sweet. And this is a lovely photo taken in the morning out in Garson, Manitoba. That photo was taken by Tom. Send us yours by email to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. Contractors may say they are working in the neighborhood, so they're able to give you a great deal. And if your neighbors are having work done, it might seem like a good idea. But some companies may still do a poor job and not come back if there's a problem. CTV's Pat Foran explains.
From a distance, this recently paved driveway in Ajax looks okay, but Paulette Blenman says it's lumpy, uneven, and already ants are burrowing through it.
If it was done really good, I don't think the ants would be able to be digging holes already. It's just a terrible job.
Blenman says the pavers knocked on her door and said they were doing other driveways in the neighborhood. She paid $6,000 for this paving job and now can't get in contact with them.
All the information is not correct. They don't answer their phone. There's no way you can leave a message. You can't send an email. You just can't contact them.
When the contractor finished the driveway, they put this big pile of debris here, but they said they would come back and clean it up. That was a month ago, and now they're nowhere to be found.
We tried to go through the neighborhood to see if we could find where they are, but we haven't found them yet.
Up the street, other homes that had their driveways done by the same company also have debris left behind. Others had their water valves paved over and will need to try and locate them and dig them up. Did these guys just come and knock on your door?
They just knock on the door.
In a separate incident involving a different company, someone also knocked on Luigi Raffaelli's door in East York. A contractor said he could patch and repair his driveway, but the company only applied sealer to half and did a poor job. They also claim they would repair his front steps, but Raffaelli did this work himself. He paid the contractor $3,900 in advance, and he never came back.
I trusted him. My wife got upset. Why did you give the money in advance? That was my mistake.
To avoid driveway paving scams, beware unsolicited door-to-door offers. Research companies thoroughly, get multiple quotes, review contracts carefully, and don't pay in advance.
I feel cheated. I feel that's not nice.
Both Raffaelli and Blenman say they'll be more careful in the future when a contractor knocks on their door. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Researchers have uncovered a simple way to reduce your risk of chronic back pain and what Kraft Heinz plans to remove from its products like ketchup and Jell-O. Medical Watch is next.
Get Winnipeg's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Sexually explicit deepfakes is a worrying and growing trend in schools, so much so Manitoba educators are asking for help to protect students. Survivors Hope Crisis Center has been answering that call, offering classroom training for both teachers and students, but funding issues may prevent it from meeting the increased demand. And joining me now to explain is Chantel Sabata with Survivors Hope Circle. Good to speak with you, Chantel.
Hi, Marilee. Thank you so much for having me.
First, maybe just give us an idea of how prolific these sexually explicit deepfakes are in schools.
Yeah, well, we know that AI is being used right now to create like deep fakes, or also known as capping. So we know that this is when your head is then placed over another person's body, for example, like a naked body, and AI is used to make it appear as though that naked photo is then of you. This can affect people in many ways. It can make people feel embarrassed or shamed, and it can be used for sextortion, which is extorting people for money or for more pictures of themselves. It also takes away that person's autonomy, and that can really deeply impact people. Incidents continue to happen, and it affects not just the person who's in that photo, but potentially their friends and families as well, and others who do see this photo.
Let's talk about your program, Digital Consent and Safety. Tell us a bit about what students and teachers can learn through it.
Definitely. So this workshop was created about a year and a half ago by Natasha Van Dorp, myself, and Chris Labe. It's geared towards youth and adults because we know this also affects adults, not just youth. In the workshop, we start with talking about, what is a healthy relationship and what is consent. It's important for folks to know what a healthy relationship is, what it sounds like, what it looks like, what it feels like, and understanding how consent plays a very important role in our lives as well. So we build on these foundations, and then we discuss, what is sexting? What does the law say about non-consensual distribution of intimate images? We know that dating in the world in general is very different from when I grew up. And our facilitators come in with a non-judgmental view, and we know that sending intimate images is something that so many people do now. I mean, everything is done on our phones. And so we're not there to shame people. We're there to empower people with knowledge and being able to give folks resources should their consent be broken and their images shared non-consensually. We know a lot of people live their lives online now, so being able to properly consent to things online is super important. That's also why it's so important to understand what a healthy relationship is.
Do you find that students and teachers have any real awareness about this, or is this an area that this knowledge is really lacking in?
It's super interesting. We know that youth and everyone needs this information to help create awareness of the harms that AI can contribute, but we also need to raise more awareness about the information and the resources that are available for people too. Folks needed these workshops and this information yesterday. AI is developing and its reach is massive. So being able to have the ability to connect teachers to our workshops and resources available like the Canadian Centre for Child Protection is very important so they can support youth and their communities. Like the saying goes, it takes a village. So we offer these workshops for community members too, not just for youth, because we know it takes that entire village to help support youth and its people. And we know adults can be affected by these AI deepfakes and these scams also. We're always hearing, daily about scams that are happening. So the more knowledge people have, the more empowered they become, and the more they can support others as well. And this also empowers people from healthy relationships and to respect other people's consent as well.
Now, I know in terms of funding, you need it on long term, not only to keep the program you currently have running, but to expand it to meet the growing demand you're seeing. Where are you looking for this help from?
From all over. So for this program specifically, for our digital consent workshop, we received a $10,000 grant from TELUS, which is a single-year grant, but it does run out next year. So the funding has come at a critical time as the requests and the concerns have been growing rapidly. We are incredibly grateful for the TELUS Community Fund to help us begin to address this emerging issue. The workshop's costs, it varies depending on location and travel expenses, but they're approximately $350 per workshop. So we're also within that, creating educational material, which includes posters and pamphlets. So while we continue to research current and emerging online harms of AI, we need to create more accessible and current resources for those that are impacted. On average,
Kraft Heinz plans to remove synthetic dyes from its products. The condiment maker announced it will remove F, D, and C colors from its U.S. portfolio before the end of 2027. The company also said it wouldn't launch any new products in the United States with artificial dyes. The product lineup includes Heinz ketchup, Jell-O, Capri Sun, and others. The move comes as federal health officials under Robert F. Kennedy Jr. put renewed scrutiny on artificial food dyes due to potential health concerns. Canada should lower the age for colorectal cancer screening from 50 to 45 as rates of the disease rise among young people. That's according to a prominent cancer advocacy group. Colorectal Cancer Canada is calling on provinces and territories to promote and provide stool tests to people beginning 5 years earlier than is practiced today. It claims this would result in more than 12,000 fewer cases and save more than 5,000 lives over 40 years. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death in Canadian men and the third leading in women. But critics say lowering the starting age could put more pressure on our public health system's already strained resources. Researchers have uncovered a simple way to reduce your risk of chronic back pain. According to a new study, walking for 100 minutes a day may keep you from being affected by disability later. More than 11,000 participants wore sensors for 7 days, which track their walking patterns. The team followed up with the group in 2021 and 2023. They asked if they experienced lower back pain. The results suggest walking reduced pain by 23%. The study was published in the Journal of the American Medical Association.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic. Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Tom Papa.
3 iconic rock bands are joining forces for an unprecedented co-headlining Canadian tour.
She got hate. She got love.
Now, listen to this amazing lineup. The Tea Party, Headstones, and Finger 11 all in one show. They're slated to rock Winnipeg's Canada Life Centre on December 1st. Now, the idea for the tour emerged as band members regularly crossing paths at various music festivals. They realized they had never toured together, and what began as a casual conversation quickly evolved into a tour schedule. Artist ticket pre-sales start tomorrow morning. General tickets go on sale this Friday. Canadian funny man Tom Green is hitting the road with a show in Winnipeg set for this winter.
Actually, it was called a phone. We call them a landline now because they have cords coming out of them. And if you follow the cord, you can follow the cord, and eventually the cord plugs directly into the land, okay?
The actor, director, and broadcaster will hit the stage at Burton Cummings Theatre February 7th for his Tom Green Stompin' Comedy Tour. You can expect an evening of Green's signature brand of off-the-wall comedy and some original songs. Tickets are on sale Friday on Ticketmaster. The Winnipeg Gold Eyes are helping celebrate National Indigenous Peoples Day. They're giving away free tickets to Manitoba wildfire evacuees. The Gold Eyes take on the Sioux City Explorers Saturday at 6 o'clock at Blue Cross Park. Manitoba Blue Cross has donated 400 game tickets and 400 food vouchers to evacuees. It's also providing free bus transportation to and from the game. The evening features live entertainment celebrating Indigenous culture, music, and dance. The Gold Eyes are working with various Indigenous leadership organizations to ensure the tickets get to evacuees. And that's not all. The Winnipeg Art Gallery Hal Mayork is hosting a hip-hop R&B rooftop concert Saturday to celebrate National Indigenous Peoples Day. And you can return on Sunday for a workshop with several prominent musicians such as Toronto rapper Shad and Toolman from the Holuchi Nation. Tickets for the concert are pay what you can on the WAG's website, while the workshop is free. Well, take your primetime lineup for a spin at 7 with Celebrity Wheel of Fortune and catch a double shot of The Rookie starting at 8. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&Teak Spa Salon.
And just like yesterday, the highest temperature today, 24 degrees, and 24 is the normal high for this time of year. Tonight, clear overnight, down to 14 degrees. There is a good chance, not a certainty, but a good chance of showers or a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon, 25 degrees. A slight chance of showers Thursday, 23, up to 27, mix of sun and cloud Friday. Sunny Saturday, soggy Sunday, and then a little cooler by comparison Monday.
Thanks, Colleen. Well, this next story is creating a whole new definition of the term family law.
So incredibly exciting to be able to do this with my mother. It's not something I thought I could ever dream of. She is the smartest woman I know.
That's Lori Butler and Megan Delarond of Kitchener. They're a mother and daughter who both got called to the bar in Ontario. The Law Society of Ontario said it believes this has never happened before. Lori and Megan are graduates of different law schools. Lori decided to become a lawyer in her 60s after her long career in teaching. She was encouraged by her daughter Megan to take on the challenge. Pretty impressive.
It really is.
Could you imagine going back to school, never mind studying to be a lawyer now? Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. Great
They'll
job.
team up in a firm or something.
There you go.
Who knows?
Something and something. I'm not sure what
It
the
is
last
grad
name was.
season.
Yes.
Lots of grads out there getting excited about the future. All right, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a good evening.